Alright, so we're back in next to this snowy island, and contrary to what I initially said, we are actually going to go around the north side of Sanctuary to go and take this utilities island, and that means that we may start encountering some more ships from that Three Shield Island, but we will deal with them if we do. So, just gonna have to steer towards the right here a little bit to try and avoid the shallow side. I think we're just about going to clear it here. And then we'll definitely need to keep an eye on the radar for those ships. Let me just glance back there. Yes, all of our units are on board. We didn't leave anything behind. So we learned last time that using these heavy rotor units is actually really great because it's going to save us a lot of time in terms of taking over islands. Okay, so I can see another ship showing up here. We definitely want to deal with this. Okay, let's just stop here for a second. Maintain heading. See, am I getting this on the radar? I am. We need the weapon systems back online for this. And that, I think, is going to be a swordfish, but it doesn't matter for now. I'm going to load torpedoes on both sides. And you see, if I can figure out what type of ship it is, that is going to be important because they're going to be very close together. Sometimes it's not always a good idea to do that because, you know, if they send out a noisemaker, that means both of these torpedoes will be useless. Let's actually switch up the activation delay. But I don't yet know what that is and if it can even drop noisemakers. On the other hand, if you do send out both and it doesn't spot them in time, okay, we're going to find out what this is, and it doesn't spot them in time, it might not release any noisemakers, and in that scenario you do want both of them to hit at the same time. That is a swordfish, so they can be a handful to deal with. I can't see what that is, it's not close enough yet, but we are probably going to encounter that too. So, I don't know what the second layer of information does for you. I'm not seeing it moving, and that may be a good sign, because it could mean that it's by the time it realizes that we've sent out some torpedoes here, it's going to be too late. But I'm not going to take any chances here. We're going to send out a few more. Let's just try to get it slightly different bearing. These two maybe I'll send further apart from each other. So that's one out. Let's put the activation delay on this one for 70 seconds. I don't think this makes much of a difference because most of them will activate well before they get to it anyway. This is quite far away. You can check the distance here. So if this is where I am, it's about 9 kilometers. Oh, that looked like it was going to hit my own barge. I don't know if it can do that or not. So far, it doesn't seem to be aware, because it should have started firing noisemakers, and I'm not seeing it moving just yet. We could get really lucky here. But from what I've seen in the current build of the game, it sort of depends. Sometimes they'll spot you and they'll start firing off noisemakers, and it'll be a little bit harder to take them out. Sometimes they won't. And I kind of like it that way. It keeps it interesting. If it's too easy, of course, then you can just do this every time, and that's not interesting. If it's too hard, it means that you have to spend so much time on one island that it doesn't feel worth it to approach those islands in the first place. But yeah, it doesn't look like it spotted them, so we may get lucky here and just take this one out. That's it, it's gone. So there's one more that we need to go and take care of. I don't know what those other two torpedoes are going to end up hitting. I think it would have already started tracking towards that swordfish, so I'm going to switch off the weapons again. At this rate, it may actually make sense to just go for this island first, because I've taken out a lot of these ships already. But the only reason why I'm not going to do that is because I don't yet have the capability to produce utilities, and I may want to produce utilities. I remember in the last episode I briefly spoke about the sonic pulse, which is another utility or sort of countermeasure that we now have the capability to build. But because it needs to activate, so you need to manually activate it when a missile comes within 200 meters of your plane for it to work. I think it's one of those things that will be really useful if you had a lot of players, but playing in single player, maybe less so, because you need to be sure that you're on board and you need to be ready to trigger that. And when you have a missile traveling towards you at high speed, 200 meters is not a particularly long distance. Okay, we can spot the other ship here. I need to maybe slow down again. If I can stop it from seeing me and I can get another sort of sneak attack in here. Hold on a second. Are these tracking it? Oh, he seems to have fired off noisemakers. Either that, or those are... So that's got to be a swordfish as well then. What's the distance here? Okay, it's almost 10 kilometers. So either that, or maybe torpedoes can track other torpedoes, but I don't know. I mean, I know it obviously can track noisemakers. That's designed to throw them off, but let's start loading up these on both sides. So if we were parked off with the side of our ship facing him, then I would fire both off from the same side, but we didn't do that. Okay, so hopefully it doesn't spot these and we get a similar hit to what we did on the previous one. Not seeing it firing off any other. Although it does appear, if those were noisemakers that it was sending out, it does appear that he did at least spot the previous set. So maybe we should just fire more. We do have 30 more torpedoes coming and we have the ability to produce them. They're not super expensive, they're like 50 each, which considering... Well, if I think about it this way, you get 300 credits for taking out a swordfish, which you'll see over here. So when we destroyed that one, we got 300. So if you use 6 torpedoes, you'll break even. Any less than that, you'll make a profit off it. And of course, any more, you'll make a loss. But so far, we're sending off 4, which means we'll still make a profit of 100. It's still a lot more likely to make a profit with these than you are with using the carrier gun to shoot stuff on islands. So the other thing that we'll likely have to worry about when we do get to Serrano, and that will be in the next episode, is most likely going to be some anti-air units. So this is, okay, so it is firing off, and I would assume that is a noisemaker. I don't want to get in too close to it because it's gonna start targeting us with torpedoes, and then we'll need to start dealing with those. Let's go have a look at how we are doing on torpedoes and noisemakers. That would be further up actually. Here we go. So torpedoes still have 30. No, sorry, we have 20 with 30 coming. And we have 12 noisemakers. You see, that's the problem. Because we don't want to waste those if we don't have to. And I don't have the capability to produce them right now. Okay, so this one has been distracted by the noisemaker. This is one of the useful things about firing off from both sides like this, because that one is tracking the swordfish itself. And if it fires another noisemaker, which it just did, well, this may actually catch the attention of this one, unless it's already started tracking the swordfish. No. Okay, it successfully managed to evade that. So this is what I was just talking about. Like, once it's spotted you, it's definitely makes it easier for it to try and deploy countermeasures in this way. And if this is gonna manage to get both of these off of the swordfish as well, I can't see if it does. I just want to check something here. Is this, where is this headed? Okay, not directly towards my ship. Okay, it's just fired off another one. It does have a lot of noisemakers. We may just need to spam some torpedoes here. The other thing I can try to do is to put it on those heavy rotor aircraft that I have and just go and drop a bunch of them, but this does have anti-air, and that may be even more of a waste. So we're going to be a little bit wasteful, and we're going to just fire off a lot here. So load a bunch of torpedoes. So now I'm definitely not going to make a profit on this, but I'm not too worried about that. You don't need to make a profit off every kill. You just need to make sure that you don't spend so much on kills that you're going to end up running out of ammunition at some point. Let's get some like 10 more, maybe even 20 more. I don't think these are going to be finished producing by the time that the pickup happens, but it's okay. The barge will bring whatever it can. We also have that second barge available now. We're looking pretty good in terms of equipment. It always feels so wasteful when you fire off a lot of torpedoes like this and the first 2 hits, but of course if it doesn't, then you sort of wish you did. These are going out so close to each other that I should be spacing them out a little bit more. I was mentioning in the earlier episode that you can do a calculation to see how much time it's going to take for a torpedo to reach its target. It's too bad that this doesn't actually tell you that. I don't know if that would make the game too easy or not. Like if you did this and it just sort of told you what the amount of time would be for a torpedo to get there. I mean, it certainly would make it easier, but then you can just use that to decide what the delay is that you need to put there. So this again is probably another noisemaker. I don't know if they've limited the ammunition of the noisemakers for the swordfish. Because again, it would probably be a bit ridiculous if it just had unlimited. Like at a certain point it does need to run out. Okay, so let's see. Okay, that one has definitely started tracking the noisemakers, so is this one, so is these two. So that one noisemaker has just gotten rid of 4 torpedoes. That's terrible. We definitely don't want these to be fired in too quick succession. But we should assume that he's going to have more. So let's just load a couple more. Get that one off. I've said this before, but these sunsets look great. Okay, we load another one, maybe on the right side. Fire that. Being extremely wasteful here with the torpedoes. At this point it may have made sense for me to just move in closer. But still, if you do that, you do have to deal with the fact that I'm gonna need to be firing my own noisemakers as well, and it's not gonna give me any big advantage over what I'm capable of doing now. This just takes a little bit longer to get there. I don't know if firing these from behind will maybe create some sort of blind spot for it. Okay, so this one has started tracking that. But this hasn't. So it's going to have to fire another noisemaker to get rid of this one. Then of course we have 3 more coming from this side. Oh yeah, it has just fired another noisemaker. Okay, I'm getting tired of this. I want to see if I can get in behind this thing. Can we use here? The easiest of one of these. So let's use A8. Let's put this, where are torpedoes? It's autocannon, that's a bomb. That's what we want. Wow, I've managed to burn through torpedoes just on this one. Okay, get these fitted. So I want to try and get in behind it using that. It does have an extraordinary amount of noisemakers. I think that's even more that it's sending out. So I'm just going to leave this. It seems pretty clear to me it's going to keep doing that. So we'll keep going here. Switch off the weapon systems for now. And then I just need to keep an eye on that thing. Would have been useful if that radar screen was a little closer to this position. Because I don't want to get so close to it that it starts attacking me. It doesn't seem to be on the move at the moment. This episode may end up being slightly longer just because I haven't even started taking out the island that I wanted to for this. Let's see how this is doing. No, it's still managing to get rid of every single torpedo that I'm throwing at it. This seems to be all loaded up, so we're going to send that out. Now, I don't know how close it can actually get before it's going to shoot it down. Just look at this, all these torpedoes that's been fired. Oh, one of them did actually hit. It's at half of its health. But we're going to send this over here. And probably a little bit higher up. At 1,000. Then I'll take manual control of it, try to maneuver in behind that. And maybe I can then drop some torpedoes in. I don't know if it does have a blind spot, but this should tell us. This is just an insane amount of torpedoes that I've wasted trying to take out this one. And I don't think it has the capability to track anything else. Otherwise I may have taken out some random ships here. Since we're not moving particularly fast, I can't switch on the weapon systems again. I don't think we've ever watched one of these heavy rotors take off. It's making its way up now. They also really look cool with the 4 weapons strapped up. There we go. So let's go and try this out. Just want to make sure that is still pretty much in the same location as it was before. I need to keep an eye on that thing to make sure that it doesn't start attacking this. Put it into tracking mode. It is taking a little while to make its way over here. But I sort of want it in... Is this moving? I just want to make sure this doesn't actually start moving, because this could ruin my plan. But sort of get it in behind over there. Is that going to be too close? It could be. I've got to be careful, because on the one hand, I want to get in behind it. I don't want to be too close to this island, but I definitely don't want to get too close to that swordfish, so that it doesn't take out this unit, which, as we've established, is a very useful unit to have. Now that I think about it, I might just make this whole episode naval combat, and because I'm trying to keep the episodes to like between 30 and 40 minutes, and then have another episode for the next island. This is what I want to see. As it started shifting its position, it doesn't look like it, and it's not firing at me. So it doesn't know where the carrier is. I can only assume. This unit is, of course, nowhere near as fast as any of the aircraft, like the Albatross that I have right now. Do I still not have the capability to build... let me just see... No, we don't have Mantas, and I don't think we can build them either. Let's have a look. Where is this? Yeah, those I still need to unlock. I don't actually see... Oh, this one can actually unlock that, but there's no quick route for me to do that. Well, anyway, this is getting... Every time it seems like this is moving, but I can't quite tell. I'm gonna have one... I don't know if I'm being paranoid here. One final look. Seems to still be facing in the same direction. I should be able to fire from the position that it's currently in. That is what we're going to do. So we will take manual control, reduce the throttle slightly. That must be it over there. That must be the one. So activate the first torpedo. And I'm just sort of hoping it works from this distance. Okay, second one. Maybe before I release the next two, I should just check if these are actually working. They do seem to be, yeah. Okay, back into the camera. Back to manual control. I think it's turned away again. Okay, manual control for this one. Release. And I'll leave a bit of a gap before I send off the last one as well. Oh, you can actually see the torpedoes in the water, or am I imagining things? I'm not sure. Okay, so that's it. Let's have a quick look with this gimbal camera. You can see it. You can see all the weapons are gone now. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Just go out and send this back. it doesn't look like it's seeing these coming. Okay, so this is really useful learning for me. That you can fire at its blind spot. You need to get the torpedoes in behind it. Oh, and that was the last one. This is what I meant. Now it seems like a complete waste to have fired these three, but I mean, I got rid of it. That's what's important. So we'll wait for this to get back, and well, now it should be a lot easier to take Serrano as well. Like I said, we'll still have some anti-air there. Okay, so I just need to steer in towards this next island a little bit. I need to go and park in a position that'll actually make it easier for me to get up to Serrano as well, since we've decided that we will be taking the 3-shield island next time. I do want to send my reconnaissance plane out, but I'm always, like, when the waves are big like this, I'm always a little bit concerned. So we're going to have a look now if this thing can actually land while we're on the go here. Why is it not moving closer? Definitely don't want it to drop into the ocean. At least if it does, it's not carrying a bunch of weapons as well. I should get a shot like this when... It does not look like it's making its way down. It's definitely messing with it a bit, the fact that we're on the go. Okay, so that's done, and we're going to start turning in, switch off the weapons actually, speed us up a bit. So this is a good enough spot. So yeah, next time we're just going to wait for that albatross to come up and start doing the scouting here, and then basically where we're at right now. So it's going to be taking over this utilities facility, and then it will be off to the first 3-shield island. And we've already softened up its defenses a bit, at least in terms of the ships that were around there. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you for the next video.